Where do you see the next evolution in DAFs in Canada?
Mhm. Yeah, I think we're starting to see it right now. And again, it's a little behind what's going on in the US. And I can't tell you how much it pains me to say that, but we're starting to see impact investing combining with philanthropy in general and DAFs specifically. And I think this is a complete game changer now. Traditionally, okay, I've donated my money to the DAF. They're going to invest it in something or other. I can care or not care. And then I'm going to have ideally more money to give to the causes I'm concerned about. Well, as the aging Gen Xer, I've rethought that. But the millennials and the ones after them come to the conversation with, what are you talking about? My finances must be in alignment with my values. So, well, what if I could invest the money in something that is supporting the environment and climate while I wait to give the money to organizations that are doing work in environment and climate? It's complete alignment. And in a lot of cases, you're not giving up any real return. Some cases maybe, and I'm okay with that because of the work the investment is doing. But in a lot of the reports now just indicate that the idea that you have to give up some of the return in order to be aligned is just false. And so I believe impact investing is already happening in the DAF world. If you think about it too, you could have a private foundation who could support a startup working in climate. Or you could have 1,000 DAF holders all kicking in a little bit of money and supporting that same startup. So there's an opportunity to do the other thing I think is a big deal now, and that's collaborative giving. So you put those things together, impact investing, collaborative giving, which is made to measure for donor advised funds. And I think you've got a completely different world. And then on the other side of the table, you got a fundraiser who's not worried about convincing me to part with money. They're just telling me about the wonderful work they're doing. And it's really changing dramatically. And I think that that's a very, very positive thing in a time where we definitely need some positive news. And so,
Right.
it's rising to meet the demand, I think.
So the future definitely looks rosy on DAFs, that's for sure, and they aren't going away.
No.
Where some folks thought it was a flash in the pan. I'm like, it's been around for 70 some odd years, so I don't think it's going anywhere. But I think it's going to be a more thoughtful way of giving, as opposed to and more strategic as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to transactional. And I think that on the fundraising side is moving away from that transaction and moving more to a relationship based, whether it's with the charity, whether it's how you're investing it. That whole relationship piece, I think, is really the nut that needs to be cracked going forward.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think it lends itself to, you and me being on the same side of the table now, talking about the causes, talking about how I can invest to support the cause and how I can grant to support the cause, as opposed to that, give me some money and here you go. We're on the same side of the table. So I completely agree with you. The relationship is going to be key. And I think it will grow deeper.